Section 11. Treta Yuga, Asclepius, the god of medicine. Dawn of the fifth day. Oh? My, it would seem Kubera has vanished. Well, damn. Now I feel bad for pawning my job off on her. Don't be stupid. She ran off on her own. You didn't ask her to go. Also, if you're going to bother saying that sort of thing, then you could at least pretend you mean it. You don't look the least bit sorry. Yeah? I don't know what to tell you then. I'm really broken up over here. Can't you hear it in my voice? This won't do. This won't do at all. No. I could tell Crown Prince Nasia was up to something, but she was still one of the hands of God. The fact that she's gone now is... There is no problem. The God's power is infinite. Even if one is shattered, I remain limitless. Indeed. Of that I have no doubt whatsoever. But you must agree that it is inconvenient to have one fewer pawn to serve you, yes? Is that not why you summoned the other servants after Ashvataman? To have them execute your will? What do you say? If you like, I would be happy to provide you with another summoning spell. No. Even that is of no consequence. All I need now is to keep repeating the Yugas. Thanks to the power you all brought me, I have been able to speed up the sluggish Yuga cycle. So I will continue on. I will keep drowning the world's defects, its evils, and cutting them away. The demise of the Great Yuga, the cycle formed by the other Yugas, that only a god can see, is approaching. The Great Yuga, huh? You said this 10-day Yuga cycle you're repeating is itself just a part of this Great Yuga, right? Indeed! Now is the time for the universe to end! The whole world has lapsed into degeneracy! The Great Kali Yuga and its massive destruction is at hand! Oh God, you should be proud. The seeds of morality you have tended for an eternity are at last about to bear fruit. Ordinarily, it would take hundreds, no, thousands of years, but that would be far too long a wait. Thanks to you dramatically shortening the small Yuga cycle to 10 days, the Great Yuga cycle has been sped up as well. How wonderful. And then, all that will remain is that which is truly good, truly necessary. Then, I will be able to create a perfect, ideal world. Indeed! What a lovely world it will be! If that really does happen, why, that would be just lovely! Soon, very soon now, I think. You will remake the world over the course of enough small Yugas for us to get there. I wonder how many more Yugas it will take. 1, 2, few enough that we can count them with our hands. I can't wait to find out. Hey, Alter Ego, enough with the digressions. Basically, the boss is telling us not to worry about Nasia's death, right? Fine, got it. Now, can I get back to my research? I've got a lot on my plate, you know. I swear, there's nothing worse than all the time people waste on pointless chatter. Especially when they're your patient and you've got to listen to them blabbing away about their inane personal lives. It would be one thing if they at least had some interesting rare disease, but it's almost always just another boring cold or broken bone or something. Wait. Alright, if you want me to wait, I'll wait. What is it? There's something I should tell all of you. Oh? My, how unusual. Yes, it's not every day we see a glimpse of his humanity. Fo? I don't see as much water or flowers as I did yesterday. This looks like the harvest season. I guess that's dependent on the current yuga, too. As I recall, today is the beginning of the Treta Yuga. That's the time when things start to deteriorate a bit from how they were during the Krita Yuga, and 1/4 of the world's rightful order is lost. It's quite the radical difference for us to just see things change so instantaneously, but that's just the way this world works. For the people who live in this world, this is all just perfectly normal. Nonetheless, I cannot help but feel that this state of affairs is far too sudden and unnatural. If the Yuga cycle has been shortened to a mere 10 days, something is certainly amiss. At this point, I would not be the least bit surprised to learn that there was some sort of distortion here affecting the entire world. Alright, now that we're all adjusted to our new surroundings, it's time for the lecture I promised. You keep walking, I'll keep talking. Asclepius is a hero from Greek mythology. His father was the Olympian god Apollo, and his mother was a woman named Coronis, making him a demigod. Shortly after his birth, he was entrusted to a centaur sage. That's right, our very own Charon. Asclepius first studied medicine under him, but his talent for medicine surpassed his teachers eventually. In addition to the sun, Apollo was also the god of sickness and healing, so that's probably where Asclepius got his talent for medicine. To elaborate, he took the knowledge of herbology that Chiron imparted to him and expanded on it, which led to the concept of medicine as we know it, today spreading far and wide. Up to that point, healing had strictly been the domain of the gods, which is probably why he came to be known as the father of medicine, and a god in his own right. At the time, the concept of a doctor, someone with both the knowledge and skills to treat injuries and disease in someone other than themselves, and a patient, the beneficiary of the doctor's knowledge and skill, was a huge paradigm shift, and Asclepius is the one who made it happen. Wow, when you put it like that, he sounds like a really big deal. Though, of course, I'm sure Ganesha's way more famous than him, being an actual god and all. As I mentioned earlier, he was one of the Argonauts, owing entirely to his skills as a doctor. He probably got to know Atalanta, Hercules, and Medea during the village on the Argo, too. It's too bad none of them are here now. They might have been able to tell us more about him. I'm sorry, but I have no interest in his life story. All I need to know is how to defeat him. Oh, there are plenty of other interesting stories to share about him, like the one about how his staff became entwined with snakes and became symbolic of medicine everywhere. But it looks like that one will have to wait. The beautiful Miss Da Vinci is taking a short sabbatical. Why is that? I'm picking up a huge wildlife reading. It looks like some kind of hydra. Is this because I mentioned snakes? Maybe words have more power than we give them credit for. While there are many Indian legends involving serpents such as Naga and Vritra, this would seem to be no more than an ordinary creature. One that is apparently set on having Mr. Gouda for its supper. Hard pass on that. There's no need to bother Indra about this. The fewer dangerous animals there are, the safer it is for everyone. I don't want to be eaten either.
You guys have seen how a snake's stomach bulges out after it swallows its prey whole, right? I'm warning you now, Hydra. The same thing's gonna happen to you if you eat me. Oh, by the way, I'm a vegetarian now, so if you want to make me an offering, some potato chips would hit the spot.
So good! Right. I make the best roasted bananas you'll ever have. Go on, Mashy, try one. They're great for your skin and for staying in shape. You are still a growing girl, so you've got to eat up. Of course, I'll be digging right in with you.
I'm eating one right now. It is really good.
Fo.
Of course it's too hot for you, Fo. Cats have very heat-sensitive tongues, and you're practically one of them. You'll just have to make do with a regular, unroasted banana. I haven't camped out since the rebellion. This really brings back memories. By definition, a rebellion involves fighting a ruler much stronger than you. Surely it can't all be nostalgic. Of course not. I remember very well how we never had enough supplies to go around. The sepoy incited uprisings left and right before they ran off to Delhi, leaving us Jhansi to clean up the mess. Thanks to that, we had almost nothing in the way of people, funding, or supplies. Sometimes my comrades and I had nothing to eat but a single half-rotten banana between us all. Hey, I know it's none of my business, but are you sure you don't want to join the conversation? You're quite intelligent, aren't you? Then you do know who I am. Well, if you are who I think you are, I just remembered that there were rumors of you helping the sepoys in their rebellion. Of course, that is just how the story goes, so I have no idea if it's true. Who can say? The truth is, I'm really not anyone right now. All I can say is, if Shion hadn't summoned me, I wouldn't be who I currently am. Then does that mean... At any rate, we should be using the time to let Gouda and his team rest, right? I don't see any need to jump in with my own old unasked-for stories. I'm gonna take another look at the engine. If you don't see me again tonight, it's because I'm busy there. Got it. It seems you're no ordinary queen either. Though I could already tell as much from the way you fight. Are you saying a queen who would sleep on the ground is no true queen? Not at all. Sheeta is said to have been born in the ridge between two rice fields. If anything, I'm fond of women who have an earthy scent. My
oh my, I guess the really famous heroes are natural Casanovas. I'll have to make sure I remember this.
Huh? Why would you do that? Wait, you're not planning on Sheeta about this if you find her, are you? You've got it all wrong. I wasn't making a pass at her.
I know that's silly. Of course I won't tell Sheeta about this.
Don't lie to me. It's written all over your face.
It's pretty relaxing here, huh, Mash?
Yes, definitely. Can I tell you something, Senpai? For some reason I can't really explain, but I feel like everything's going to work out.
Oh?
I know Guard Arjuna is incredibly powerful. I know this world runs on a truly bizarre system. And I know that Neja and Karna aren't here to help us anymore. We've seen some very, very painful things. To be honest, it was all bringing me down a little.
Yeah, me too.
But now, having all of us gathered around a campfire like this makes me feel more optimistic. Pepe was always so nice to me, even back when I didn't know anything at all. I knew he was a very social person, so it was difficult for me to accept that he had become our enemy. But now we're sitting around the same campfire, united in a common goal. It's all so... I don't know if this is the best way to say it, but it makes me really happy. And you know, I'm actually kind of hopeful right now. Maybe, just maybe, Asclepius, the caster we're about to face, will have his own feelings about this world just like Neja did. So if we talk to him, maybe there's a chance he'll be willing to help us out.
Oh, you've grown up to be such a good girl, Mashi. I'm so glad to hear you think like that.
Pepe!
Of course, I'm not too hopeful about my own prospects, so I can't share your optimism. But in that sense, we each have to place our own bets, so it's nothing you need to worry about. You're right, it's definitely not impossible. It might well be worth our while to try talking to him and William, even if they are local Pala. But I don't think we should waste our breath on Ashwataman.
What makes you say that?
You saw what he's like when we fought him before. You know how fiercely determined he is. You can't give anything that much effort unless you really, truly believe in what you're doing. Yeah, it didn't matter how many times we defeated him, he just wouldn't stay down no matter what. Right, however much you hurt him, he'll just bounce right back, even if the wound is fatal. He was nowhere near so durable when he was with me, so it must be something with the divinity Arjuna gave him. But at any rate, he didn't even think to pretend he was out of commission so he could take it easy until his wounds finished healing, right? He's as hardcore as they come. So I don't think we should get our hopes up about him secretly hating this world and being willing to betray it. If anything, he seemed to me like he cared more about serving Arjuna than anything else. Not because Arjuna is his master now. I got the impression that he is a true believer in what Arjuna is doing. He and Arjuna might have been enemies back when they were human, but I'm pretty sure Arjuna is way beyond thinking about the Kauravas and the Pandavas at this point. I always meant to try and get to know Ashwataman better, but I was so busy back when this Lostbelt was first made that I kept putting it off. Now I really wish I had made the time for him. Maybe then I'd at least have an idea of what he's thinking right now. Whoa, fo. Oh my, are you trying to slap some sense into me, little animal? Trying to tell me I shouldn't have left my contract with my servant be taken away? Well, yes, you're right. I am his former master, so I feel responsible too. Even then, he always seemed like he was angry about something, so he couldn't have been less alike. But I didn't mind that. I figured that way I could let him handle everything that wasn't in my wheelhouse. Not to mention, he was always an incredible fighter.
Angry, huh? That's true, he was always super pissed off. Is there, like, a reason for that? Or is it just how he is?
I'm not sure. All I know is he was like that right from the time I summoned him. So, who knows, maybe that is just how he is. There is one story that says he attacked an enemy army in the dead of night out of anger over his father's murder. Even though that sort of thing was absolutely against the rules of warfare at the time. Anywho, as a servant, he's always been fueled by rage. I'm sure there's more to him than that, but his rage burned so hot it seemed like it subsumed everything else. In some aspects, you could say he was a bit socially awkward,
But anger is a force to be reckoned with. Some people think of anger as giving you blinders and making you unwilling to see reason. But on the other hand, that kind of focus can be very powerful. So the idea of going up against someone so relentlessly devoted to his cause, well, it scares me. Honestly, I don't know what he'd be like now if I was still his master. It sounds like he would have been a very helpful ally. You think? I have a feeling a lukewarm puddle like me would have only cooled him off, and not in a good way. Anyway, I'm sure that wherever he is now, he's mad as hell about something. I swear I don't know how he does it. It takes just oodles of passion to stay angry all the time. Passion? Really? I thought he was just, bad-tempered. Oh, yes, his heart simply burns with passion. When you grow up, you'll understand just how hard and how sad it is to be so angry that you burn yourself out. That kind of white-hot rage usually just doesn't last. Most of the time, anger quickly gives way to regret and despair. I can't even imagine what it would take to be truly angry all the time. Even sincerity only gets you so far. I mean, how long do you think a dandelion seed like me that goes wherever the wind takes him would last? If my hair ended up burning off in my fury, I wouldn't have anything left. That sounds like it's taking the Buddhist idea of the world as a burning house of suffering a little literally. And honestly, I can't imagine how a guy named Pepperoncino isn't already living it up. Right? Pepperoncino's a great name, if I do say so myself, and it suits me perfectly. After all, I'm a spicy hot pepper from my head to my toes. I make it a point to live nice and carefree wherever I go. I'm not sure I agree with that, Pepe. You've always seemed very sincere to me. You never got angry, no, but you easily made up for it with how hard you were on yourself. Besides, it's said that masters summon servants who are a lot like themselves. You may be very open-minded, but underneath all of that, I think you have a very strong sense of responsibility and a powerful conviction to not lead an easy life. Oh my, that's very kind of you. But you're giving me way too much credit. I know you wish you could get along with us, with the Cryptors I mean, since you also used to be a part of Team A. But you've really got to give that up, girl. If you don't, you'll just make trouble for yourself, your master, and us. We were all loners well before we were Cryptors. That didn't change just because we joined a group. Some of us have our own ideals. Some of us have faced major oppression. Some of us are natural rebels. Some of us were born in the wrong place. Some of us have lost our humanity entirely. That sounds about right. We've all got our own issues, and they don't go away just by being part of a team. There was not a good person among us. Not any of them, and not me either. I mean, we sold out all of mankind and joined forces with a foreign god just so we could survive, remember? Maybe you have a little survivor's guilt at being the only one left, Mashi, but you don't have to feel bad. This was always going to happen to us. Always going to happen? Where are you getting this from, Pepperoncino? Still, I really did enjoy my life in Caldia. So, for me, you might even say it gave me a reason to live. I see. I don't quite get what you were talking about, but I can see that you are a man of conviction. You have quite the keen eye, don't you? I've noticed it helped us in battle since you joined. That keenness doesn't seem entirely physical either. Is it some sort of magecraft? Why, yes, it is divine power just like the kind you use, Rami. It's a technique I came up with to let me use the power of the gods in my human body. I'm also pretty good at Jinsoksu, Tashinsu, and Rojinsu, I'll have you know. Jinsoksu, Tashitsu, and Rojinsu?
I could have sworn I've heard those terms somewhere. Do you know anything about them, Administrative Advisor?
Those are 3 of Japan's Shugendo Rokujinsu, or 6 supernormal Buddhist powers. Jinsokutsu is the power to run faster than any ordinary human. Tashinsu is the power to read others' minds. And Rojinsu is... My apologies. I do understand the concept, but I struggle to articulate it and make myself understood. It's something unique to Buddhism, almost an awareness of one's destiny, not dissimilar to enlightenment. My, I'm impressed you know that much about Eastern philosophy. You really are a great detective, aren't you? I would say Rojinsu is the power to know oneself well, maybe. That's as good a way to remember it as any Gouda. Of course, I doubt you'll have much use for it, being Mash's master and all. I mean, knowing that much about yourself? That's just asking for trouble, right? Interesting. Rojinsu is said to be a state of mind that quells all doubts. Yet he thinks of it as asking trouble. Why did you call yourself a dandelion seed earlier? Oh my, that's what you're concerned about? You're awfully bold for such a cutie. It's simple. I ran away from my country when I was about your age. Ever since, I've been an international stranger. Chaldea is the first place in my life that I could actually call home. Why did you run away? Why, because there wasn't anything there for me. I didn't get along with anyone in my family, extended or otherwise. That's putting it mildly, of course, since I hated them so much I killed them all myself. Oh well, funny old life, isn't it? That's an advanced level of not getting along with your family.
Rage. God damn it all! This pisses me off. I'm so friggin' pissed right now. I'm so mad I could throw up. I'm so mad it's making me dizzy. This goddamn anger never goes away. And it won't as long as I am who I am. That's why I want it to hurry up and get here. When the Great Yuga ends, the world will finally stop cycling through destruction and rebirth. Every last evil defect will disappear, and the world will finally be perfect. I can't get here soon enough.
Dawn of the 6th day.
I'm picking up a life form nearby. A human. There's still some distance to your destination, so they may be a traveler. You can never have too much information. Let's go say hello.
I've never seen any of you before.
Hi there. Would you mind if we asked you a few questions?
You're headed for the town nearby. Don't bother. If I were you, I'd just turn around and go back where I came from.
Huh? Why's that?
There's a real nasty disease going around in that town. I was just heading there myself to look for a new job, but once I heard about it, I turned right around. It had already killed a number of people by the time I heard about it. Might be dead bodies everywhere by now.
A plague? That's...
Alright, I'd better get going. But don't say I didn't warn you. We've got prayers and the sacred beast to help us with the Kali, But you can't pray away a disease. You only get one life. Gotta make the most of it.
Herbs and the sacred beasts, huh? Those don't actually do that much to help. Well, what do we do now?
I can't believe I forgot to ask something so basic. Tell me, technical advisor. Am I right to assume we're all fully inoculated against the various pathogens we expect to encounter in our travels?
You bet we are. Think about all the places we've already been to. We've covered as far as just about any plague around goes. Of course, Gouda is already pretty well set thanks to his innate poison resistance, so the vaccinations are more for peace of mind than anything else. But in case you're still concerned, Director, we could always have the servants go on ahead and collect more detailed data about this virus before...
That's okay, let's just go. I need to see what's happening for myself.
Understood. Then we will continue as planned.
Just make sure you don't touch anything strange, all right? And do you have enough masks and gloves? You know you're not supposed to share them, right?
We get it. Jeez, you sound like my mom. Just so you know, the border isn't exactly bursting at the seams with vaccine doses and such. So be prepared for the possibility that you might not be able to save everyone in this town.
Eh? Foe?
It's a perfectly ordinary town. It certainly doesn't look like there's a plague going around. Does this mean the other guy was lying? That's not the impression I got from him. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
What do you want?
We were told there is a deadly plague going around this town, is that true?
Whoever told you that must have been way behind the times. Sure, we did have a scare like that recently. People were collapsing left and right. Some of them died of fever, and the people treating them kept catching it. We thought that God had forsaken us and this town was done for. Hell, I was bedridden with it myself until not too long ago.
So there was a plague going around here, but now it's all over?
Yup, just when things were at their worst, a doctor showed up and saved us all. I don't know what we would have done without him. I had to quarantine myself so my wife and kid wouldn't catch it. I didn't even know if I'd ever get to see him again. But now we're all one big happy family again. That doctor is our savior, no doubt about it. We offered him a home here and told him he'd never want for anything if he stayed with us. But he just took off, wouldn't accept anything in return. Picture of modesty he was. All he said was, "I just stopped by to check on things. This isn't the fundamental solution the world needs." I do wonder what he meant by that. He did look really stressed about something even after saving us. But anyway, things are perfectly fine here now, so relax and enjoy your stay. Trust me, it's a great place.
A mysterious heroic doctor. Da Vinci, can we quickly go over what you know about Asclepius again? Sure thing. There's all sorts of casters, mages, witches, alchemists, beautiful inventors whose genius knows no bounds. But in Asclepius's case, given his title and background, he is definitely a doctor. I knew it! Master, this might mean we were right after all.
Doctors are always good, right? Maybe he'd be willing to join us.
Right? If he's only pretending to obey Arjuna. But deep down, he knows this world is wrong and can't bear to see people in need. Maybe we can convince him to...
You should have your answer to that directly. Here he comes now. He doesn't appear to be going on the offensive, but keep your guard up all the same. What the... What's going on here? There he is. Even if we did come here looking for him, I wasn't expecting to find him this quickly. You must have some very good karma indeed, Master.
This is perfect. We were just hoping to talk to you, Asclepius. Are you the one who...
Shut up. I've been saving this town for my experience. It's practically my exam room, and I won't tolerate patients worth less than used gauze speaking out of turn in here. Patients should only speak when spoken to. Is this your doing? How did you heal all the infected when I didn't lift a finger to help them?
Huh?
My. I guess you're not the good doctor we've been hearing about after all. Of course not. I was just about to study this plague. Why would I bring anything that could cure it? Idiots. Medicine is advanced by studying new diseases as they progress. I thought with the plague in town I would at least have no shortage of cases. But now you're telling me there's not a single infected person left. You can't be serious. I don't know who you are, but you have some nerve taking away my precious research opportunity.
He sounds like a self-centered sociopath. I'm guessing he dumped every stat point into int and everything else be damned. I don't know what you mean by the second part, but I agree wholeheartedly with the first. Just answer me this. Did you spread this plague here yourself? Huh? What are you, stupid? What useless mush do you have festering between your ears? Why would anyone ever do that? Of course I want to advance medicine by studying as many cases of disease as possible, but the point is to cure patients, not create new ones. Be that as it may, it would seem you didn't do anything to limit the disease's spread either. Because I knew I couldn't. I don't waste my time with pointless endeavors. It's far more sensible to make a vaccine after studying the disease. Even if more people end up dying in the meantime. Yes, that is undeniably tragic, but as long as they die while I'm studying them, they serve to advance medicine. I stake my pride as a doctor on never letting a patient die for nothing. I'll always make sure their death leads to a new discovery, and eventually to advancing medicine as a whole. Sounds nice and all, but the guy is oozing mad scientist vibes. I don't think we can hope for much from him. He didn't heal this town, and he isn't anything like Neja either.
Aha! I see, so that's your game. You thought that deep down I might be dissatisfied with the way that God runs things here, just like Neja was.
I take it that means you aren't then.
Of course not! Excising all that is defective or unnecessary from the world? That is how things ought to be. It's immeasurably better than the weak, foolish God getting rid of exceptional things. Do you know what happened to me? Do you have any idea what Zeus put me through? What was it again?
Oopsies, you already forgot? Okay, no problem. I'll just give you a quick refresher course. In Greek mythology, Asclepius masters the art of medicine, and ultimately ends up creating a tonic that can bring the dead back to life. As you can imagine, the gods didn't take too kindly to that. Particularly Hades, the god of the underworld, who was especially displeased at the idea of humans overcoming death and making a joke out of his authority. But since Hades couldn't harm Asclepius himself on account of him being Apollo's kid and all, he asked Zeus to punish him instead. Zeus agreed and killed Asclepius with a thunderbolt through the heart. But to try and provide Apollo with some consolation, Zeus also brought Asclepius' body to the heavens, and gave him a place among the gods as the constellation of Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer.
Some consolation that was. Now that I've made you a god as well, all is forgiven, yes? I never asked for that. It was meaningless, completely and utterly meaningless. All I ever wanted was to advance the field of medicine. All I did was find a way to cure death.
But the Greek gods were too narrow-minded, lazy, cowardly, and arrogant to accept that. They were wrong and they punished me for all the wrong reasons. They punished me for nothing more than achieving excellence. Ah, now I see. But this world is the complete opposite of that. All that is excellent endures, and all that is inferior disappears. It couldn't be simpler. This is exactly how things are meant to be. This is what a just world looks like. And what is it you want when that world reaches its end state? Weren't you listening to me? All I want is to advance my medical arts. I thought I made that clear. So you don't care what the world loses as long as it helps you with that? Huh? As long as mankind doesn't go extinct, people will always need doctors, right? So don't worry about that. There will always be people around. I'm willing to rack up as many sacrifices as it takes to ensure my patient's survival, no matter the cost. Master, I'm afraid Asclepius is... Yeah, something's fundamentally wrong with him. Medicine is important, but you cannot ignore how people feel. You may be an excellent doctor, but you've completely failed to treat these people's cries of grief. I'm no counselor. There are some conditions I can't do a damn thing about, like stupidity. There is nothing I hate more than stupid patients. All you have to do is listen. If your doctor says not to do something, don't do it. If they say to do something, then do it. Why is that so hard for you to understand? Don't you want to get better? It doesn't make any damn sense. It's just like I thought. Your heads are the most affected part. If you patients are so soft in the head that you're trying to get rid of this just world, then it's clear which part of you I need to amputate.
So it's a fight he wants, is it? Get him, Gouda. Don't be afraid. He's only a caster. And just a doctor at that.
Just a doctor? Have you forgotten that Arjuna made me a Lokopala and granted me one of his divinities? The Indian god he bestowed upon me is Yama. Yama? That's the god of death, king of the dead in the regions of the south. Master, I'm seeing new hostiles appearing out of the ground one after the other. They appear to be moving skeletons. I guess Arjuna thought Yama would suit me since I already managed to resurrect the dead on my own. Well, as long as it's not Hades, I can get along with another god of the underworld. And I have no qualms about using what I've been given. Yama wields authority over the dead. Well, technically it may be authority over this land's memory of the dead, but there's no meaningful difference. Great, so now we gotta play some kind of horde mode with zombies? I don't think we'll be able to beat it unless you've got some special attacks with invincibility and massive AoE.
The hell! He summoned so many fighters that quickly without any preparation or chanting. What kind of necromancy is that?
This is clearly outside the realm of human magecraft. This is divine power, just like Kubera let Neja use so many noble phantasms at once. Be very careful. Got it. Even idiots like you know about autopsies, yes? The dead can still be valuable in medicine. You're all probably going to die here now that you're up against me. But don't you feel better knowing your deaths will be useful?
I don't know how we can thank you. As if curing our disease wasn't enough, you even tended our fields for us. Are you a new Lokopala? You must be to show us this much kindness. Please stay with us. The whole town would be thrilled to have you.
Sorry, my throat's been acting up a bit. Pay it no mind. I just stopped by to check on things. This isn't the fundamental solution, this
this world needs. It's the ones who will show up after me who are bound to end you. They're from an organization called Caldia, just as I am. Make sure to welcome them when they get here. It'll speed things up. Okay, but it isn't, Caldia we want to thank, it's you. Please, won't you stay with us just for a little while? We would be honored, delighted even, to repay someone so virtuous.
Yes, exactly. Please, right this way. Everyone's dying to hear more about you.
They really mean it. These people can't have much to spare, yet they still want to reward an outsider. Never mind that. Why do they like me at all? This sort of thing would never have happened before. I'm not doing anything different than I was before. I'm still operating under the exact same principles I always have. So why am I seeing such a different reaction now? Is it only because of what I look like? Do people really care about appearances that much? Oh well, if that's true, it suits my needs perfectly.
They just keep coming no matter how many we take down. Wait, what's that? Shit, it's a kid! Most of the town's residents hid after you started fighting, but he must have been left behind.
Kid, get out of here! It's not safe!
Owie. Crap, he tripped and he's too far away to... Huh?
What's wrong? You fell down. Your knee is injured. Let me see it.
God?
So you cut it on a rock. Even in the middle of town, the roads really need more work. That's why a fall at that speed can produce lacerations like this. Now I see. I'll have to remember the size and depth of his wounds so I can comprehend similar situations in the future with just a glance. As for your wound, there's nothing unusually wrong with it. To treat it, first we wash it with clean water. Then we apply some of these medicinal herbs.
It's not bleeding anymore.
Of course not, I just stopped it. Now listen to me. Don't take that off until the pain is all gone. Doctor's orders. If you can't listen to them, that will mean your thick skull is the real problem. Don't make me give up on you.
I won't. I promise. Thank you, God.
That's a good patient. Now take care.
Hey? What the heck, guy? Are you one of those gruff, curmudgeonly doctors who hides his heart of gold beneath his prickly exterior?
What are you talking about? I heal those who need healing and show no mercy to those who would interfere with my medicinal pursuits. That's all there is to it. It couldn't be simpler.
That dedication is not a bad thing in itself. But why do you insist on prioritizing that over all else? How can you so casually dismiss everything else wrong with this world or the suffering of its people?
You're asking my reasons? Well, that's a new one. They're so blindingly obvious that I don't even have an answer ready. To tell you that, I'd have to pay attention to things I usually ignore and bring my thinking down to the level of my most idiotic of patients. Never mind. There's no point. I'm just going to keep working on kicking you interlopers out of my exam room.
First you help a child, and now you're back to raising the dead. Which are you looking for, praise or revulsion?
I have no need for either. Now will you stop acting up? You are the very worst sort of patient, aren't you?
It doesn't matter how many dead you throw at us. If I can defeat a great Rakshasa, I can defeat you too.
It never fails. It's always the most ignorant patients who make things worse.
You should simply have resigned yourselves to assisting me in the study of medicine. Now this has taken long enough that he's shown up. I'll explain it all later. All of you, cease combat and get away from there immediately. I knew this was a possibility, but I didn't think it would actually happen now. And by this, I mean the worst goddamn case scenario we can think of. Talk about luck not being on our side. Master, over there in the sky, it's... Superman? That's not Superman. Arjuna! Hey! I thought he spent his time flying around the Tree of Emptiness. I swear there's nothing worse than amateurish home remedies. With his kind of power and Vimana's mobility, there's no need for him to stand around guarding that tree. Especially now that no one besides him can even get close to it thanks to that ocean growing bigger. The only reason he usually stays there is because he typically has no need to go anywhere else. Which of course means that if he does have a need to go somewhere else, he will. Of course, in this particular case, he only knows because I informed him when I found you, as he ordered me to do. I guess he's actually taken a rare interest in you. We can't get away from him. So, you are the sole god of this world. The one they say absorbed every other divinity in India. So, you are a god too. But you are a tiny, insignificant one. Shut up! You're nothing but a shadow of a once great hero. Don't you dare compare me to your stolen divinities. Your insolence is unforgivable. Now release every god you have within you immediately. I couldn't agree more. I'm sure you have a divinity linked to this world, Shita, and I'm not letting you get away. Okay, but maybe you could not let him get away later? Haven't I told you guys that you don't stand a chance against him yet? In fact, I'm pretty sure we told you to get out of there. Did you not hear us or something? Oh, we heard you just fine, but it's not that simple. I don't think we can avoid combat at this point. Let's find our chance and get out of here, guys. Yes, Master. We can't let our mission end here. Awaiting your orders. I blink out of sheer boredom. In the infinitesimal span of that blink, I had a dream. How unusual. It was a dream about a foolish war. A war that started for laughable reasons, persisted in absurdity, and ended in trivialities. There is something there, something within my memories fighting alongside my beloved friends and brothers. Wanting nothing more than to grant their wishes, my arrows found their way into every one of our hated enemies. I fought earnestly, with no shame, proud to be counted among my brother's ranks. But even so, something nagged at me deep within my heart. Something dark and wriggling. As I grow bored of even that, I open my eyes, and once the darkness fades away, I forget that I ever dreamed at all. God has no need of dreams. Ortinex output, it's dropping. System's overloading. Wait, please, I'm not done for yet. You bastard. I can't afford to lose. If I can't protect Gouda and his companions, then who... Oh man. I guess I wasn't good enough after all. Even though Karn asked me to take over for him, I just can't. Damn it. I guess I failed. Yet again.
Well, was this a satisfying diversion? No. I am just disappointed. These people survived my reconstruction. I thought maybe they were special. But they were not worth verifying. Although, what did I verify? I feel no need to understand. Hey! First you had me call you, now you're just up and leaving. What do you want me to do with them? I no longer care. Messing things up and capriciously leaving as soon as he gets bored, huh? He's a god, all right. Guess this means I can do whatever I want with them. At least he didn't obliterate them with a divine punishment. Okay, then. Let's hurry up and end this already, so I can get back to my research.
Hey! 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 Are you serious? None of you can even move!
I guess there wasn't any point in choosing after all. I knew I was a hopeless dead end. Thanks to my Rojinsu, the only power I was born with, I couldn't help but be enlightened about that. So I never needed to lie to myself. I don't even need to remember when it began, because I always knew from the start. My life has no value. I'm just a pitiful jester born to a pitiful world. So then why did I make that choice? Why was I holding on so hard? Right, of course. It's because if I die here and now, then if nothing else, these feelings won't have been worthless, and they won't be erased. In that case, maybe this is an end I can accept. What the? My specimens! Who could it be? I'm surprised this place turned out to be a land of the dead. Or did I just pick an odd time to visit? What in the world? What are you doing here, David? David? A crypter?
David Semvoid, the crypto with the most talent of them all. I thought he was off raising another Lostbelt. And what's that?
Is that a servant?
The miasma around them is too strong for us to properly observe them, but I was just able to get an idea of their scale. That's a Grand Servant. There's no doubt about it. David somehow formed a contract with a Grand Servant.
What's this about? Who are you and what is... Yama, also known as Yamaten. Passing judgment on the dead? What a joke. Death is meant to be eaten. Life is meant to be sacrificed. Giving the dead freedom would never pass in my world. So I consumed them, but they tasted terrible. It proves they haven't been eating anything decent.
Try to stay behind me. Remember, this isn't your land. Didn't anyone ever teach you not to drink the tap water when you travel?
Good point. I'll be more careful. Besides, we didn't come here for the food. David!
He's not even looking this way.
Well, why are you here? How are you here? You can't just show up and surprise me like this. I didn't even have any time to prepare. Oh, my hair is a mess. Oh gosh, you've got to give me some warning.
Should I have waited? It looked like you were in trouble, so I thought I would help.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You definitely saved my life, and I appreciate it. But seriously, what are you doing here in India?
I came because of the way you were behaving at our last meeting. I wasn't sure if it was because things were going well or poorly for you, but I found it strange that you didn't say anything about how things were going in your Lostbelt. We may have an agreement not to interfere with each other's Lostbelts, but there are no rules against making personal contact. I acted on intuition rather than logic, and then only because I consider you a friend. Was I out of line?
Oh no, not at all. It's just, this is a Lostbelt, you know? You can't just walk in and out of them, right?
We can't, no. But fortunately we know someone who can.
Hello! Whether it's kidnapping, assassinations, or coup d'etats, NFF Services is ready and waiting to assist. That said, I was pretty preoccupied with my own affairs, so I was hoping to avoid answering any sudden business calls for a while. But, you know, there aren't many people like David around, right? So I thought it would be worthwhile to have him owe me a little favor without the foreign god getting in the way.
Koyanskaya!
Well, if it isn't Gouda, not so long time no see. Oh, don't worry, I'm doing my best to torment the humans here just as much as you'd expect. But until Arjuna gets at least a little farther away from here, I can't really have as much fun as I'd like. Let's just say I don't want to draw too much of his attention right now by doing as I please. So in the meantime, just think of me as a beautiful tour conductor, keeping a silent but watchful eye on her group of students on a field trip, and don't pay me any mind.
While I was at it, I thought this would be a good chance to ascertain the extent of this woman's abilities. They did not come cheap, but you needn't worry about that. Anyway, what happened to you? Your contracted servant is nowhere to be seen, and you're fighting alongside our enemy. It was worth the few minutes it took to see this for myself, but I can't imagine how you got to this point.
It's because I can't go along with this god, the core of this Indian Lostbelt, or the way he does things. But I couldn't criticize him in front of Kirshtarya since one of the foreign god's alter ego disciples is involved.
Why can't you go along with him? His way of doing things may be unusual, but his logic appears sound.
I guess it's a matter of taste. Lifestyle, aesthetics, principles, that sort of thing. I guess to put it another way, it's because of who I am.
So you haven't turned your back on the cryptors, then? In that case, there's no problem.
Of course not. I would never abandon you guys. But I can't abandon these kids either. Now that things have come to this, I'm planning on helping them out until this is over, one way or the other. That shouldn't be a problem, right?
I see. You're a good man, Myorenji. You really know how to take care of people. Myorenji? Can you defeat this god?
Ugh, you're already moving past it like it never even happened. Anyway, I'm trying, but honestly, it's a real challenge. I mean, he's pretty much a perfect being. I don't suppose you have any advice for me, do you?
So you're up against a perfect god, huh? No, I don't have any advice. The more godlike a god is, the stronger they are.
It's pointless to even try to fight a perfected god. Tell me something I don't know. You should change your plan of attack. You can't take something away from someone who has nothing, but you can always take something away from someone who has everything. So, you're saying I should try to slow him down? I have to go now. I guess we didn't have time to celebrate our reunion. Don't tell Vodim about this. I may not have violated the agreement, but it still doesn't look good.
Oh, are you headed back now? Thank you for traveling with NFF. Okay, everyone, I hope you don't mind if we step out for now. Don't worry, I'll be coming back very shortly.
Did he just look at me right before he left? Christ on a cracker! Between the Cryptor and the Minx showing up out of nowhere, it's been one thing after another. But never mind that now. You there, field team! I trust you can move now? Of course! That bought us more than enough time to get out of that predicament. Master, Arjuna has left. There are fewer dead now, and the Cryptor is gone.
And we even have an idea of Pepe's real name now.
Fo? I don't know what you're talking about. In fact, just forget you heard anything. We have bigger fish to fry right now, anyway. Oh, I feel much better. There's just something about a sudden stroke of luck that puts you in a good mood. Alrighty then, let's strike back while the iron is hot.
A sudden stroke of luck, huh? I just hope it's not a prelude to a greater stroke of bad luck. Either way, it looks like I'll have to put it out of my mind for now. Ortonax load reduction sequence successful. Output is stabilized. Asclepius appears to still be reeling from David's surprise attack. Now's her chance, Master.
Damn it. Can a doctor really accept his death at the hands of a violent patient? No, definitely not.
Asclepius is making escape.
I'd prefer not to let him get away given how he's our current priority target. Can you go after him?
No way. I'm so exhausted I can barely move as it is.
We still haven't recovered from the wounds Arjuna inflicted on us. We'll just have to call this one a draw.
Good grief. Now that the battle is over, I expect the townspeople will come out of hiding soon. It would be a lot of trouble to explain what just happened to them. I say we leave now.
Sounds good to me. Why don't we head back to your walled village, Tivol was it, and plan our next course of action on the way?
You seem awfully pleased about all this.
Do I? I didn't think I was acting any different than usual. Yeah, you're definitely pleased, Myorenji. Don't! Oh, okay, you win. If you want to know about that stuff so badly, I'll tell you on the way. Let's just leave before the locals start throwing stones at us for assaulting an agent of God or something. You okay, Mash?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. Well, not fine. I'm just as exhausted and hurt as everyone else is. I was just thinking about something else. Now that we faced Arjuna directly, it's clear just how overwhelmingly powerful he is. And not just as a lone fighter. I could tell he was on a completely different scale, almost like he was competing with the ground itself to see who was stronger. Oh, but please don't misunderstand me, Master. I'm not about to give up by any means. I'm just saying, analytically speaking, that Arjuna is undoubtedly the most powerful god in this world.
Yeah, when that guy does push-ups, he isn't pushing himself up, he's pushing the ground down.
And the more I think about how we could hold our own against him, the more I come up blank. Even if we succeed at defeating the Lokapala and reducing his power, would it really make any difference?
Oh.
Don't worry, we'll figure something out. I know it.
Yes, you're right. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, Master. Shall we start heading back? Our first order of business. Get Pepe to tell us his full name.
Not you too, Mashi!